Today we're here with Scott Smith from Q Stewing and Brewing. Thanks for having us out today, Scott.
Hey, nice to be here. Thanks. Glad to be here with you, Cliff.
All right, so I got a couple questions. We're filming a competition advice barbecue series for people that's trying to get in the barbecue. So a couple things I'm gonna ask you starting out, seeing that you have a lot of knowledge about smokers. Can you tell us the different type of smokers that you'll see out here on the circuit and kind of what they do?
You'll mainly nowadays you'll see your direct flow stick burners. You'll see some water cookers, a lot of drums nowadays, and a lot of gravity feeds. I think all of them are good. They can all win any day, depending what cook, what seasonings they're using, what profile. But all of those cookers are great.
Like, what is a stick burner? What is, for the people that don't know, what's a stick burner? What's a direct flow?
A stick burner is a cooker that you would put a traditional stick of firewood in, like your fireplace. They make them to where it's a direct flow across a barrel that is basically a direct flow heat, direct smoke. And they make a stick burner that's a water cooker, which is what I cook on. And you have a heat diverter in the middle, which is your water pan.
Okay. And what are the barrels?
Our barrel drum cookers are basically a 55-gallon drum like you'd see for a trash can. You have direct heat, it's like direct grilling, but you smother the flames down with the lid of the cooker. And a lot of guys cook on barrels or drums now, and they do great also. But they use wood and charcoal both, but normally it's big chunks as opposed to sticks.
Okay. And how does the pellet and the gravity feed work?
The gravity feeds are basically it's gravity for one. You fill a chute full of charcoal, and as the fire burns, it goes down and it smolders onto your wood chunks, which gives you flavor. You have the option of changing flavors throughout the cook, from apple to hickory to cherry or mesquite or whatever you may cook on. But the gravity feeds work so great because there's so many different ways you can do it. You can change categories and change wood and smoke at the same time, as long as you're not changing charcoal. Pellet cookers, on the other hand, are a pellet which you can buy in a multitude of flavors at most of your hardware stores. Pellet cooker is an electric-driven auger burned by electrode with a fan on it, and basically produces smoke and heat. Pellet grills, pellet smokers are great.
All right. So what we're going to go around and ask all the rest of the teams is, hey, one, what did you start cooking on? Two, what are you cooking on now? And three, why did you make the transition from what you started on to where you're at today?
Well, I started out as a kid on just like a Weber Smoky Mountain or a little kettle barrel cooker type. And I transitioned to a water cooker, which is more of a hot and fast cooker with the full logs and the water pan being the heat diverter. But my entire professional career, I've basically been on the water cooker.
Is this what you're cooking on now? What is that?
This is a Southern Q 125 model. Burns full wood. It'll hold 6 full hotel pans. And you basically feed it water and wood about every 40 minutes. You'll bump a little water in it, bump a little wood in it. But the benefit of this cooker is you can cook a brisket in 4 hours, or say butt in 3 hours, as opposed to your low and slow, long traditional cooks.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, sir, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, today we're here with Jared Kennedy from FYC Barbecue. Want to thank you for your participation today, Jared. Very simple, this is going to be part of the competition series of advice, and this is the second part, Class 102. 3 questions for you today, sir. 1, what smoker did you start off cooking on? 2, what are you cooking on now? And 3, why did you choose to go to the cook you're on now versus the one you started out on?
So started out on a Bubba Grill's 250 reverse with a rib box. Love the smoker, love the flavor. It was a beast. Cooked on it for 2 comps, didn't do poorly, and I didn't sleep. So I went to a Deep South GC36.
Is this the smoker right here?
Right here.
All right.
And I went to it because I like to sleep and I'm lazy.
Well, thank you for your time, sir.
Have a good one.
All right, today we are here with Mark Weatherwell from Maya Jane's Barbecue out of Evans, Georgia. Thank you for having us today, Mark.
Sure, how you doing?
Doing good. Have 3, we're promoting a series on competition barbecue. Second series is kind of judging, you know, what smokers the teams are using and why.
All right.
So my question, I have 3 questions for you. The question is, 1, what did you start off on?
Okay.
2, what are you cooking on now? And 3, why did you decide to change from the first smoker to this one?
Sure. All right. So my first smoker was 2006 at a electric Brinkman, big, you know, the red bullet. And I was in Denver, Colorado, an apartment complex. You couldn't have fire, live, you know, charcoal or anything. So you plug it in, all the lights dim, everything just. Then we moved out here to Georgia about 10 years ago, and I decided to do something different. And I went with some 270 smokers.
And these are smokers that you use right here now?
Insulated cabinet smokers. Pretty much the primary reason was I wanted to smoke beans and sides, and I didn't have any capacity, and I liked the vertical place where I could actually, you know, put the beans on.
All right. Well, thank you for your time,
Sure.
sir.
Okay.
All right. Today we're with Andrew Claudes from Bald Hog Barbecue. Thank you for having us today, Andrew.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right. So, second series of competition barbecues, class 102. 3 questions for you. 1, what did you start off cooking on? 2, what are you currently cooking on? And 3, what made you transition from what you started on to where you're at now?
Well, I started cooking on a stump stretch. Number one, when I first got into this, I wanted something that was consistent and you know, put the guru on a gravity feed and go to sleep. Had that for about 8 years, and then I switched to cooking on a Jambo about 1.5 years ago. This particular model right here is not mine. I had one, I sold it, and I ordered another one, so I have a good friend that let me borrow this until mine shows up. And I needed some parts for the stumps, and couldn't get it, so I went ahead and changed up and went to the Jambo. I wanted to get something new, and looked around at what teams were finishing at the top, and nailed it down to a few different kind of smokers and ended up with a Jambo.
All right. So just a little add-on for those people that don't know. You started talking about a gravity fed, and so what's a gravity fed compared to what a Jambo is?
A gravity feed smoker, you load a chute of charcoal from the top, and you know, there's a fire at the bottom, and as it burns, gravity drops more charcoal down, and it just feeds itself like that until you run out of charcoal. Jambo has a firebox, insulated firebox, and you throw wood and sticks in there and control your fire that way.
All right, so now we're with Sean Triggerstad from Angry Jack Barbecue. Thank you for having us, and appreciate you volunteering to be in this video.
You bet.
All right, Sean, I have 3 questions for you today.
All right.
First, and you can answer them in order. The first one is, what did you start off cooking on?
Okay.
What are you cooking on now? And why did you choose to switch up to what you're on today?
Okay, the first thing I started smoking on, as far as barbecue, sort of, is I had a Weber grill that had a little chip basket where you could put some wood chips in there. And that's where the whole barbecue thing got started, is burgers and steaks and stuff on the grill. And then it was this little smoker box on the side that did kind of a half-assed job of giving any flavor to any smoked meats and stuff like that, but was enjoying it. So my next step up was actually took this smoker right here.
And that's the Weber kettle?
That's the Weber Smoky Mountain, the large Weber Smoky Mountain, and it's still probably my favorite cooker there is. I mean, that's I cooked my ribs on it today. Ribs have probably been my best category over the years. And this is the cheapest smoker of the bunch. It's the first one I got, and it's the one I cook the best on. And it's a water smoker. It's got the water pan, heat source on the bottom, water pan, and then you got your racks. And I've tried cooking ribs on different smokers over the years, but I can't leave that because they cook better and they turn out better off that than anything else I've tried. So I still cook with the first true smoker I ever had, and that's my bread and butter.
All right, so let's talk about your additional smokers then.
Okay, so then the next one I got was the Backwoods on the end, which again is also Backwoods is also a water cooker. Heat source on the bottom, you got a water pan and then racks, but it's insulated, heavy duty, couple 100 pounds. And I got this one more so when I first started cooking. A lot of the good teams around me, this is what they were cooking on when I first got started. So I got started cooking in 2013. And in my area, a lot of the better teams were cooking on a Backwoods. And so that's what got my interest. And then when I figured out or learned it was a water cooker, very similar to what I kind of started cooking on, the transition was pretty easy. But the benefits of this one are I cook my long cooks, big meats on this, pork and brisket, things like that, is they get it up to temp and it'll sit there. You still run a guru and things like that, but insulated, heavy duty bars. It's built like a tank, and it does a real good job of those long cooks. You don't got to fill the fire basket overnight and things like that. So this to me was a natural progression, an upgrade of a smoker. Very easy one, going from the Weber to the Backwoods. Okay, so then the one on the end is now it's become pretty popular, some people call it a trash can, whatever you want to call it, but the can cooker. And this was more of I think it was kind of a joke. It started off kind of a joke, like, hey, I want to cook on a trash can, and then I ended up getting it for a Christmas present one year. And different. This one's, even still barbecue and it's still meat, smoke fire, that kind of stuff. Very different cooking device. No water pan. You just got your heat on the bottom. Very simple damper controls on the sides. But the magic here is you're cooking at a really high temp, and you got to get used to that. It's a different flavor. It's a different process. 300 degrees plus, can't scare you. So it took me a long time to kind of figure out how to trust it and use this. But I cook my chicken on this now. It's done really, really well for me lately. I know these are very popular now around the country. It gives a a little bit of a grilled flavor to your meat. So you get the smoke on a grilled flavor. Allows you to cook really fast, so you don't have to put your meats on and cook them overnight. You can just get up in the morning and go. So, so I joined the club, got a fancy trash can to cook on, but I really like it. So, but each, at this point, they're all now kind of purpose for me. Chicken ribs and pork and brisket, all for a very specific reason for what I'm looking for.
So basically, you cook your 4 meats on three
cookers.
3 cookers. All right.
Cookers.
Well,
Three different temps, 3 different processes, but I think they're all kind of suited for each specific meat that I'm trying to cook.
all right. Well, thank you for your time, Sean.
Thanks, Cliff.
We'll see you later.